Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and I'm just so happy to be here and share another project with our Halloween craft along series. The craft along series is a kit that I put together that has all kinds of supplies, and then I have projects that I'm going to do with those, and I craft right here and you guys craft along with me where you are. It's a great way to stay connected in between our in-person and online live events, and just kind of keep you crafting. Okay, this is not the first video, so I do want to say I highly suggest in particular that you go back and you watch project 1. All right. There's also a little intro video that goes over some kits and that goes over the kit and separation of some papers. But project 1 is super important because it is a 2-page layout, and getting that 2-page layout done with those big paper cuts, gutting our paper, doing those things is how we get here. So it's kind of one of those things where if you craft along in order, it will make sure that your papers are flowing well as well. Okay. Did you like that? Flowing well as well. Okay. All right, let's pull out some things. For this one here, we are making an adorable tote bag. All right, a Halloween tote bag. You're going to need your packet of brads. All this was in your kit. Your twines can be pulled out now. You have 2 sets of twine. Let me throw these up here. Okay, and you're going to need your sheet of white paper. This is what I'm making the Halloween tote bag out of. It is super cute, but if you wanted to go with all orange diamonds, it's on the other side. But this one is really cute, and I want to show you what we're using. We have this cute little cat that's going to go with it, and also this as we make a little tag hanging side. All right. And now pulling in some scraps that we used from that other project. There was a very small piece of the purple that was used. This is all this gorgeous micro dot paper, and this is from Photo Play. This is Echo Park, but this is Photo Play. We're going to want our purple scraps, one of the 2 by 12 inch black scraps, your orange scrap that you had left over after you cut that 4-inch piece off, and we're going to use all of these, okay? Let's go ahead and get started with this project. Okay. You're going to need a scoring tool for this project as well as we dive in. Had my tablet, it was right next to me, which means I just moved all my pieces around, and I moved my tablet out of my little spot where I keep it so I can see everything. Okay, this tote bag I made years ago, like years and years ago, and it was a huge hit, and it just kind of is one of those things that just keeps coming back. All right, we are going to cut off. Oh, let's cut it the other way and reserve the larger piece. All right, we're going to do 5 by 8. And in the other video, I was like, you guys could definitely cut this off. And this with the one little white piece I had you pull out of your stash, but I thought if somehow you miscut or something and you couldn't get your base piece, it was better to pull that 3 by 3 out. All right, remember to put all your scraps back in place. All right, so now we have this 8 by 5. And you guys might like to make these for Thanksgiving or Christmas. This is just a really fun project. All right, I'm gonna drop my scoring in, and we're gonna go 1 inch from the edge, rotate 1 inch from the edge, all the way around. Get a nice score on it. This white paper is very nice and thick. So, okay, while we have our cutter out, we have some other cuts that we're going to go ahead and do, okay? All right. For the orange, let's just cut 2 strips off that are 1 inch each. And this is, by 12 inches. So just 1 inch and then 1 inch. Great. And we'll put the orange aside. That 2-inch piece of the black that we had left over, we're going to cut that right in half. So we'll have a 1 inch and a 1 inch. There we go. And for this purple, we're going to put this aside. We're going to bring this in a little bit later. All right. For our black, we're going to do some black handles on this. So we're going to put it in to score it. But when we put this in to score it, we are going to, thinking I'm going to just use my scoreboard because you get a better view. Okay, kind of ignore all the tape. They all represent projects. This is George's scoring board, not mine. All right, so I'm on black on black. You might not get as great of a view as I was thinking. Okay, what we're going to do when we score this, we want to leave the bottom portions of it unscored. So kind of like line it up like you're gonna score it, and don't press in until you get to 1.5 inches, and then kind of drag it all the way down and stop at 10.5 inches. Okay, there you go. See how I don't have this half scored or this half, and we're going to do it again, or this end and this end, excuse me. So once again, I'm just like I'm lined up at that 1/2 inch in, but I'm not pressing down. I'm just kind of going along, and you want to be careful because you have that micro dot paper. So if you get caught on a bump, it can kind of shift where your score line might go. There we go. And if you end up scoring the end, it's fine. I've scored plenty of them on the end and it's all good. All right, there we go. Okay, so for the black ones, we're gonna go ahead and use a corner rounder on the edges. It's my original corner rounder I bought, like, I don't know, 20 years ago. I don't know, a very long time ago. We'll just say that. If it works and you have it, don't buy a new one. Save your money, right? All right, there we go. Off to the side. And for these, I know I'm doing a lot of cutting now and it kind of just looks like pieces. It is going to come together. Something so many of us have in our stash. We buy things and then we might not get the use out of them we like. This is a border punch. All right, that's it. It's just a border punch. I'm going to put my border punch in. This is a really old one. I'm going to punch it, and then as I slide it out the other one, I'm lining it up so that those scallops are lined up on the edge, and you match them up to that scallop right there. And that's how you use a border punch. All right. And this will add a decorative detail, but you certainly don't need it. I skipped one there, so I'll go back and get it. I was too excited. I pulled too many through. I got too excited. You don't have to leave it. You can go back and get it because as long as you're lining them up, you're good to go. All right, I'll slide this other one in. As long as it's inside there, just line up make sure you're in the groove when that happens. There you go. You know, and don't have it all the way flush to the side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this one a little quicker. Little thing that was hanging right there. That's going to be a problem for me. I'm going to need to go back. I wasn't in far enough. Sometimes I leave them when I'm trying to do too many. You should really count. Like it's 3. I should pull no more than 3 out, you know, but it happens. It's challenge accepted. Let's grab that one. And you're actually not going to use all of this. So I may not even need the one that I just fixed, but okay, for this one, we're done. And you might have ones that have stars, or you might have a different scallop. I just thought it's a great way to pull something out that we've already spent money on, but it's not necessary. You can just go with a plain 1-inch trim and it's going to look fine. Okay, here's our scored piece. For our scored piece, we are going to, you want to cut to the same side of your square. So if you're cutting, see how I'm cutting here to the left? And that means if I'm cutting to the left on this one, then I'm going to cut to the left on this one, because you don't ever want to risk cutting both sides. You can only cut on one side. So either cut to the left or the right, but cut on each end only one time. Okay, and when that's done now, we're going to fold it in and get some really nice lines. Okay, and then for these little ones, I just kind of fold those in. And for this, I'm not going to have you do miter cuts or anything because you're not going to see them. All right, see the little squares that are left over? That's the only place we're going to put any adhesive. Just going to grab some score tape and put score tape on the edges. There we go. You could use liquid glue if you want to. Liquid glue will be fine. I do like something a little stronger than just my regular tape runner adhesive on these. Okay. If you don't want to peel all 4 of these off at the same time, you can do them one at a time as you go around. Whatever makes you comfortable. I'm currently in the middle of 2 series that are posting at the same time. All right, we're going to fold the flap in, and then we're going to fold the corner up. And there we go. We're going right around again, flap in, corner up, flap in. And you want to line up with the outer edge. You know, this outer edge portion right there. And this here, see how it's peeking over? If you were going to see that, I would have said, okay, let's do a miter cut. Let's make this a much cleaner box. So, you know, if you are planning on using this for something else, I would do the extra little cut to kind of take that little bit off. All right, here's our base for our tote bag. We're cruising. All right, let's grab that paper that we're using. Super cute, right? Okay, for this, we are going to cut. Isn't that cute on the other side? We're going to cut 2 strips. Now, you can choose to do this two ways. They need to be cut at 10. So if you want to, you can cut the 10 inches first and reserve a longer piece here if you think you're going to need stripes that way. I'm actually going to cut mine this way at the 4.5. I'm going to do that 2 times, and I'm going to reserve a longer piece to go across. I feel like that will work better for me. But when you're making these, you know, with other paper, I mean, not this particular one. See, I have a bigger piece here, and I can use that for my slimline cards. Okay. And now we want this by 10, both of them by 10. There we go. Okay. All right. This is really coming together. You can see that this is going to be just an easy breezy thing. All right, there's 2 ways to do this. You can take your pieces and put them on here now. The issue with that for me is 1/2 inches of these kind of, they become a tab. So they go on top of this one and then they wrap around, they go on the other one. And this tends to be thicker because you get multiple coats of that in that area, multiple layers of it. So I don't do that. The other thing you can do is you can attach your pieces right now to make them longer. That I do. So it's about 1/2 inch. Liquid glue is going to probably be stronger than the adhesive, but I'm just going to use my adhesive. I can always add liquid glue later if I want. You're looking at about 1/2 inch overlap. So I'm just going to put this in about 1/2 inch and try to get it straight. This seam portion straight. Let me grab that. There we go. All right, and I like my seams to be on the side, and this way I only have to make 1 trim if it's a little long because it sometimes is a little long. All right, for this one here, now is when I start using the liquid glue. I'm gonna go ahead and liquid glue, because you guys know I left it open. No one's surprised when I'm like, oh, I left my glue open. I leave my glue open every day. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on. We want it to go all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. And I do think that holding it for, you know, a little bit helps. So the liquid glue is a blessing and a curse. If you put it down on the wrong spot, you can slide it a little. However, if it's exactly where you want it, it can slide a little, right? Okay. Liquid glue, you can use score tape, whatever. I want you to get a good angle all along the bottom. There we go. Putting a good bit of glue. Now, as soon as we start to wrap this around the edge, we do not want our box to start curving and twisting, and we need to keep this at the very bottom. So I'm going to pull this around, and after I pull it around, I need to kind of pinch right here at the corner of the box. You want to give that a little pinch. It's going to make sure that it kind of sticks to your box a little bit more and you don't get an air gap there. I'm a little off here, the tiniest bit, but I brought it back on at the other edge. It happens. Don't worry about it if it does. We're going to flip this over for just a second and rub, rub, rub to make sure we get good contact. And if you want to add more glue as you're going, like see that little gap right there? I will sometimes go in. It's harder to do when it's finished. And I'll just add a little and rub it. There you go. You want to get, a good seal. I actually prefer to use score tape and regular adhesive, but it's not forgiving, and I wasn't willing to risk it during the video. All right, so I can see my seam is off, probably not quite a ½ inch, and by the seam I mean where I attach the two papers together. Because of that, it means I might have to trim it on the other side, just depending on where that's going to be, but I like having the little tiny bit extra room. It's more forgiving. Just pinching that again because I came around the corner. Lots of glue. Around the corner we go. And I'm also sliding my finger up before I pinch. That makes sure that I get the paper to fully adhere to the base. That open-ended box we have at the bottom is our base. Okay, I will do this again. Flip this over. Bone folder, rub, rub, rub. Go back to this side. Just making sure I get really good contact. Okay, and I'm okay. It's a little over, but I don't think it's so much so that I'm like, oh, I don't like it. So glue right there. It should only be maybe a ½ inch, but I went a little bit more, and I'll have to add more. And then we're going to glue straight up the seam right here, and we're probably going to have to add more because of that overlap. All right. I'm kind of no longer nice and flush to the bottom right here. I went up a little bit. Okay. I'm lifting to try to kind of get it back without crushing the box in. I am a heavy-handed crafter, and if you're a heavy-handed crafter, it's real easy to cave the boxes in if you don't pay attention and you kind of keep moving them around and, you're too heavy-handed with them. All right, I'm going to turn this over, and my hand's inside, and I'm just kind of holding it down. I could fast forward the video for drying time. But this is so cute. Can you think of all the wonderful things you can do with this? Even if you have someone staying, an overnight guest, you could make one of these and have it on the bed and just have like some travel size products in it with a little card that just says kind of welcome. I mean, I think that this has so many options. Okay, I have some gaps in here, and I'm okay with the gaps as long as, the bag is sturdy. You're not really going to put a ton of weight in this and then lift it. All right, this I'm not okay with. See that gap? We want to seal that gap. So I'm going to slide that precision. That's the precision tip glue. Life-changing. See, I didn't have to peel anything back. I could just shove that in there. I'm going to turn it over and just hold it with my hand while it seals. So much you can do with these little bags. Obviously, give them as gifts. If you have a lot of paper to de-stash, what a wonderful way. Especially we tend to, I love to buy Christmas paper, right? You could de-stash so much paper making these and then just add some cookies for the holidays and a couple packs of hot cocoa or something. Golden, right? I mean, these bags are just so cute. And do assembly line them, all your bases first, get all the sides done, add all your extra pieces, so on and so on. Okay. Usually your box can sit while you're doing all these pieces, but I just thought it would be smarter for us to do these pieces and then move on. Okay, I'm going to start with this first piece and I'm going to go right it on the side again. This is where if you put them on before, even though it's easier to line them up that way, as I was mentioning earlier, you end up with multiple layers because it would be on top of each other, you know, again and again. This way, we're only going to have it one time. All right, I use this. I don't have to worry about my fingers getting gluey. And we're not going to pull the bag tight when we do this. We're going to keep it nice and loose. So we're just going to line it up on the side here, about halfway, give or take. And it's where we want to be is right at the top. Right along the top, not over the top, right along the top. And do not pull it tight. Don't pull your paper tight. If you pull your paper tight, you're going to create an off-center bag and it's going to kind of like buckle a little. Okay, when we get right over here, trim off this extra. We only need to be about halfway around. There we go. Same thing. Just rub it all the way around. Get good stick. There we go. And we're going to do it again. I know there's a little extra here and I have a piece that I didn't get that little scallop on. So I'm just going to try to cut it nice and smooth. There we go. Adhesive again. And you could just have regular 1-inch pieces too. But if you're doing the scallops, I like to line my scallops on top of each other so that they kind of line up really well. And then remember, the most important thing is just lining it up at the top. Don't pull it tight. You have two 12-inch pieces. It's more than you need. So all things good. And there we go. Oh, it's lined up nicely on one side. There we go. That's what somebody looks like. You might want to look at. That might be what you reconsider who you're giving these bags to. Because these things are so cute. You can see it coming together now. Let's take a look. Here it is. You can really see the bag coming together. Now, we're not done, but if you wanted to do something open, you could do these just like little open things as well. You could also adjust your the bottom and make these different sizes. But we're going to take this to the next level and turn it into a tote bag. That score line just in the center of both of these. Just fold and rub in the center a little. You don't even have to rub all the way to where your scoring was. Just rub it in the center. Bone folder. Now, this is the micro dot, and we don't want to ruin that. When you're looking at it, sometimes there's one side will be slightly shorter than the other. I tend to like to put that towards the bottom when I'm doing this. All right, I'm going to just rub this with my bone folder. It's going to help give a little curve. We just want a little bit of a curve. Do you see that? I'm going to do the same thing. A little bit of a curve. This one didn't curve enough for me. I got to add a little. All right, let's grab those brads. Oh, my little tray's missing. I'm going to make a tray out of this. Here we go. You probably have more brads than you need, but you will have at least the amount that you need, okay? We're going to let the bag rest how it has naturally formed with you making it and lay this in the front. Now you're going to bring this over and you're going to also put this on this side. So if you feel like it needs a little bit more, it's better to kind of do it now than at the end. All right. And I don't usually add adhesive to the inside of my straps any longer. I might add a little glue later on. All right. I like it to come past the scallop. All right. So a little on the long side. If you want to add some adhesive, here you go. Let me just show you. If you want to add a tiny bit of adhesive, you have to go through it all though. Just grab a tiny bit of adhesive. It's just going right past that scallop, not much. You know, it'll help you work with it while you're kind of getting used to it. Grab your piercing tool. And we're going to do 2 because these are small. So instead of 1 brad, if I gave you big brads, so kind of stay to that 1/2 inch looking at it, this is 2, 1/2 on this side, 1/2 on this side. You have that score line right there. We're going to put 1 hole on this side. Wiggle it around. Get a good size hole, and then 1 hole on this side. We want to kind of keep it even if we can, and try not to stab yourself. All right, there we go. Mine are a little off. It's okay. It happens. Put your brad in. All right, put your brad in on this side. If you didn't move it. You moved it, you just lift it up and then you put it back in the hole. I usually don't even use the adhesive. I just say, okay, this goes here and this goes here. Okay, here we go. Brad and brad. We're going to bring this over. You can curve it a little better next time. You really, when we're done, not next time. What we really care about is where this is ending up and that they're kind of even on the bag. You know, from the edges. I feel like here is about good. Brad. Yeah, I thought that might have happened. We'll put that one down. Only one of the brad pieces made it through on that one. I'm not going to try to fix that one-handed. I think it moved. I might have to take it off camera just so that I can really, okay, there we go. Maybe see where I'm actually going to be. I'm trying to do it on camera for you, but I don't know that you need me to struggle on camera. Hold on for a second. Make this a little bit bigger. There we go. I'm back. Okay, one more. Oh, I know that in trying to hurry there, I did not wiggle that around, and I really find that the extra, like when I wiggle my piercing tool, it really does help me get the whole thing through, because these brads love to catch and then split like that. All right, almost done. Let's torture through 4 more little brads, okay? It's really worth it. These look so cute when they're done. All right, we're doing the exact same thing to the other side. So we've already done it. So technically now, you know, you get better the more you do it. Plus, what an amazing way to use up your brads. Also, I would love to see these made with eyelets. If you have a crocodile and you're sitting on a bunch of eyelets, that you could swap these out and eyelet them. Now that you are going through a lot of coats of paper, so that would be my only question with the eyelets. I've never tried it with the eyelets. Full disclosure. I think it would be a cute idea, but I've never tried it. All right. Just 2 more, and we will be all done. These are worth making just to de-stash all of our brads. I would love to hear if you're a person who's just sitting on tons of brads like me. I have and I have given away. I have I did a scrapbook yard sale thing, and I was literally just throwing little packets of brads in people's bags. When I go all in, I go all in. Trying to control that a little bit more these days. Okay, so all of our brads are in, and that was a lot. That was 8, right? We used 8 brads. Now, I either use 1 big or 2 small. Look, isn't that cute? Okay, so now I like to kind of play with my handle a little bit. Kind of get it more rounded, because now it's where it's going to be. All right, let's grab that purple paper we put aside. All right, this is not needed, but you do have the paper for it, and it's more like a finish. We'll call it a finish, okay? We are going to cut 2 strips here of purple. And, you have those brads on the inside. They can be sharp. They're not the most attractive thing right there. So this is just something that you can do if you would like to. Oh, Definitely going to have to get that off. There we go. I do tend to start on the sides, and this has liquid adhesive on it, and it's kind of one of those, like, is it worth it? I don't know. I thought, you know, for the wiggle, you have to want to do it, right? I find that using my regular adhesive, you can't slide it around. However, when I use my regular adhesive, it kind of sticks and it doesn't slide. So it's the exact same thing. That's a pro and a con when you're putting this on. All right, I'm sliding this up. We want it right up at the top. I'm working my way around, making sure to pay extra attention where the brads are, because that's where it would come detached the easiest. Okay, there we go. And you can see how far I am around. This also stabilizes your tote bag at the top there. So that's the other part of why I like to add this, but it is some finagling. All right, I'm gonna start at the center of this one, or a little past, and just kind of shove it in there again. Fling some glue on my stuff, shove it in there. There we go. Just kind of tapping it down, making sure I have it at the top. And this glue is beautiful. Dries clear, not shiny, does not dry shiny, so we're good. And then just squeeze it. Just keep squeezing it. If you see a gap anywhere, add more glue and then squeeze it. See how it's slightly over right there? I don't love that, but that's okay. This is kind of when I come in and say, all right, I have a gap, precision tip, life-changing. All right. You can play with it some more later if you want to seal some gaps. I have a couple of gaps, and I'll go in and, you know, rub them, mess around with them, add some more glue or whatever, or say good enough. Done's better than perfect. Look how cute our tote bag is. And you can see those brads are all gone. That's where I got a little off track, but it's okay. We've got these cute handles. It's all super cute. All right, let's grab our tickets, or excuse me, our tags. These are off of that sheet that I said put the whole one aside. This one right here. We have these 2 tags. All right. And we need to cut the tags. I'm going to cut the bottom of the tags with my cutter. And I'm cutting the bottom of this tag by cutting the top of this tag. There we go. And if you want to, you can go ahead in and just, you know, use your cutter and cut these out too. You don't have to do scissors. It's just a straight cut on an angle. There we go. Hole punch. Okay, and then I want to grab that piece of purple, and I'm going to measure this out. And we're looking at about 2 1/8 by 4 1/4. Cutting this at 2 1/8, 4 1/4. Okay. This is really just to kind of add a little bit of that purple element to bring in some additional color. I'm just lining up the tag so I can kind of get it all to match. And there we go. So now we have these 3 cute little tags, that little purple one. And you can do the Happy Halloween in front or the trick or treat. I'm going to do the trick or treat. You can also write little message. You can put, oh, let me peel mine off. I buy mine in bulk. So I always have, well, I'm just going to leave it on there. I will put some white on the back there if I want to write, because the purple is dark. We're going to grab our black and white twine. Oh, I lied. We're grabbing our shiny twine. And we want to cut this in half. We only want to use half of it. You won't even need half, but cut it in half and put half aside. There we go. and through all three. I'm going to kind of get to the center of this, and we're going to tie this. But when we tie it, or just tie it so that the knot goes to the front. We're not doing a bow, we're doing a knot. There we go. Now you'll have these two little strands, and you can pick which side you want to put it on. I mean, it matches all the way around, so didn't even need half of it. All right, and now we're just going to tie this in a bow. I'm kind of putting my bow off to the side. There we go. We'll pull that around the front, the extra part. And now I'm going to double knot it since I'm leaving the bow in place. I don't want it to get loose. So I'm just going to double knot the bow. And there we go. And now this will kind of stay on here with those little twisty kind of twirlies. And you have this cute, adorable little bag. You've got a couple of tags hanging on here you can write things on. You've got lots of room. I think this turned out so cute. It's cute from both sides, right? Really, really cute. And I bet someone who realizes we might have an extra sheet of paper, this would be the project that you would go back to. Because really, outside of this one piece, even your base piece is only 5 inches wide, right? You could do that with your leftover dot paper. It's certainly strong enough. I hope you guys like this second project in this craft along series. I had so much fun putting this kit together, and I really look forward to doing it. I'll only be doing the craft along series about once every 3 months. So it's kind of special for me knowing that I'm working with all this, as the new products for the January one are already on order. So that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to play with my handles a little bit more on mine. Make sure that they're nice and smooth with no gaps. I'm going to like seal my bag, and I'm going to call this one done. Thank you guys so much. Oh, I forgot to put the little heart on it. Hold on. I am, like I said, getting rid of my bling. I have a big heart right here. And where it says trick or treat, I'm just going to add a little heart. You can also just add a punched heart if you don't have these. I'm really just trying to kind of use up. There we go. Just adding that extra little orange that we have. So cute. I love this dot paper. It adds so much detail to this project, having like that embossed kind of paper all the way around. Thank you guys so much. I hope you are having fun with this craft along series. I'll make sure the whole project series is in its separate playlist here on the YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you back for another project. Have a great day. Please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out here in the YouTube community, and if you leave me a comment, I'll be sure to get back with you. Bye-bye.